Hi guys, welcome to another dip inside the Creative iMedia toolbox. Today we're going to look at the assets table. Now the assets table can become one of those things where teachers and pupils think this is a nightmare. It's difficult, it's hard to understand, they often don't get filled in. Well, after watching this video, you'll know exactly how to smash out a high grade in the top mark band, because it's not difficult as long as you know what you're looking for. And there's a bit of time in putting this video together because I've gone in depth and I've showed you all the elements you need to get yourself into the top mark band. So let's get started and have a look at what you need to do. So this definition has come from the Creative iMedia book, which is one of the Cambridge books for the course, and an asset is basically an image, a graphic, a video or a sound to be sourced from a third party or created when making a media product. Now there's two things I want to pick out there. Created is really important because you can create your own assets, and sourced is really important because you can source an asset from somebody else. And an asset is an image, a graphic, a video or a sound. So in a lot of the iMedia units, not just R094, the graphics one, there's lots of emphasis put on assets and sourcing things. So this video is useful right across the coursework. Another word I wanted to bring up before we start is royalty. Now, royalty free drives me around the bend. There was once a question in the legacy spec on royalty free images and people just didn't have a clue, basically. People think that royalty free means completely free. But if you understand what a royalty is, you can unpick this misconception straight away. So royalty is a payment to an author or a composer for each copy of a work that is sold, or to an inventor for each item sold under a patent. Now, inventions and items we don't really need to deal with. We're dealing more with digital products. Now, a royalty is every time a digital product is used, a royalty is paid. So to give you some wacky examples, somebody owns the royalties for the Happy Birthday song. So technically, when Happy Birthday is sung on a commercial level, for example, maybe, I don't know, well, it has been sung to presidents, as famous presidents who've had it sung to in America, plus at commercial events. You've got to pay anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000. Now, I've picked up this article from America, so it's in dollars, but somebody wants a royalty every time Happy Birthday is sung of $5,000 to $30,000 for the right to sing that song, because they claim that their relation has passed on the royalties, whoever created the song, and this song in the Guinness Book of Records is probably the most popular English song English language song that's ever been sung. So Spotify works on the same principle of royalties. So we all pay like a plan to Spotify or a monthly plan, you listen to adverts, however you do it, and the money that Spotify gets, whoever's the most popular artist, they pay a royalty. So it'd be a very small fee for every time that song's listened to. That goes to the artists and they should get money for you listening to their songs. So a royalty is a payment every time a digital product, song, image is used, basically. Hold on to that thought because it's going to become really important in a couple of minutes when we talk about royalty-free images. Another thing I want to flag up on this drives me round the bend. Google Images are not a source. Students have a tendency to go to Google Images and they copy and paste this code at the top as the source. That is not a source of a website. That is a source of a Google search. If you actually read the code, it says this is Google searching for running pictures. So that's not a source. I'll come on to that again when I actually show you how to source. So do not use that as your source address. For example, if you look at this picture, this one's from Healthline. This one from Runner's World. And if you click on these links, it takes you to the source website. So legal considerations, which we're going to go through. You've got copyright free, royalty free. I can't find a policy to take an image, or one-time use, or restricted use, or royalty use, if that's the words we want to use. So I'm going to jump out of this PowerPoint and we're going to have a look at an assets table. So on this assets table, this one's been done by Dwayne Pipe, and Dwayne has first of all put in all the assets that he's created. So on legal issues, Dwayne owns the assets. So he doesn't need to think of any copyright considerations. The only thing he needs to think about, if anybody uses his assets, they'd need to obviously consider copyright, or else Dwayne could sue them, because he has the rights to these products he's created. So the concept sketches, they're an asset. You've scanned them as a PDF and you've put them in there. Quick explanation of how you're going to use it. If you want to go into more detail of this, you can pause the video and read through the statements. The home fit logo, we've made 2. In fact, I'll rephrase that. The home fit logo we've made 1, but the poster we've made 2. So the home fit logo was saved as an SVG, which was a vector graphic at 300 dpi. In properties, you're coming up with all the technical aspects. I'll go into that a little bit later in more detail. And we've made 2 posters, one as a TIFF at 300 dpi and one as a JPEG at 96 dpi. And this one was 600 pixels high as well. This was all specified in the client's brief. So this would change depending on what project you're doing and what's been specified. These assets are not from the internet. They're actually saved in the folders in my work. So I've got a task 1 folder, a task 2 folder. Legal issues we've gone through, and use again. You can have a look through that. So these are assets that have been created. I own this asset. So on the second part of the source table, we join this table together. We're going to have a look at different legal implications. So the first one, if we go back, copyright free, can be used free with no restrictions. So let's find an image that's copyright free. So I'm going to go onto this website here and I'm going to have a look around, and I'm going to check on this one. It's called Pexels, and if I look at this, I'm going to search for the photos. So let's type in fitness. And on fitness, I might think, right, I want to use this photo of somebody doing pull-ups here. Now, the good thing about this website is if you click on this picture, and I go into more information here, it gives me all the technical aspects. So I could possibly screenshot this and drop it into my assets table in the properties section, or I can just work out like the dimensions, looking for different bits and pieces of information on there. So straight away I can have a look at the technical aspects as the image is downloaded. So you can have a free download, you can download it, etc, etc. So let's say I use this image. I just put I might call it man doing pull-ups. I will have to save the image with that name. Properties, I go to the properties box and I put those in. Now the source of this one, I would copy and paste this website here. What I'm going to do as well is I'm just going to pause the video now. I'm going to fill in the properties just to save some time. So I'm back again now. I've put in, this is a JPEG. It's 300 dpi once I've downloaded it, and I've screenshotted the other technical details. So this is a copyright free image. Now if I want some evidence of this, I'm going to go to the website, and on this website, if I move back from this page, what I just need to do is you need to have a look at the licenses here. So on the licensing information, it tells you here what is allowed, and it tells you everything is completely and utterly copyright free as you work your way down. So what you could do if you wanted, you could screenshot this as well. So I could take a screenshot of this, and under this is a copyright free image, I could just put the screenshot in there as well. And once I've done that, so if you look at the terms and conditions of this one, it's completely copyright free. And for use, I'd write on this section, I am going to use this image. So I'm going to use this image on my poster to demonstrate that people can do pull-ups at home, something along those lines. So I'm going to pause the video, fill that in, and then we'll move on to the next section. So guys, I'm back again, and I'm going to talk about the use of this image. So this image is going to be used so it demonstrates to customers pull up at home. I'm also going to talk about the audience and talk about if I use a black man in the picture as well as a white man or ladies, etc. It shows diversity and it avoids discrimination. So it's always good to have a representation of all British society or world society, whoever your audience is within the posters. So that's image number 1. So we're now going to move on to the next photo, and this is royalty free. So I've put here royalty free, need to pay a one-off fee of, and that's the legal issue. So I'm going to move on now to this website, which is called Getty Images. And if I put in fitness, I can have a look at a picture. So let's say, for example, this time we're going to use a lady, and we choose this one. On this one, this is a royalty-free image. Now, going back to the information I gave you about royalties at the start of this tutorial, royalty means every time you use this image, you pay. Royalty-free means it's free from royalties. But it doesn't mean it's free and you don't have to pay for it. So, if we go back to the information here, royalty-free can be used freely for a one-off fee. So what that means is this image, there isn't a royalty, so you don't have to pay every time you use it. However, royalty-free means you pay a one-off fee for unlimited use. So if you look at this, for a small one, unlimited use is £150, and then the technical aspects of it, that's 72 dpi. But because our post is 300 dpi, we'd have to use a large one at £375. So again, on this one, I could click here and I could insert a screenshot and I could add all the information. I'll add the information now, pause the video, and then we'll move on to I can't find any copyright. I'm back again, guys. So I've just made a couple of developments. I've put the actual pictures, a little screenshot of the pictures there, just to make it easier to see which source we're working on. I've added the technical information, the web address, and the royalty-free payment, obviously selecting 300 dpi, and an explanation of why I'm going to use this picture. So the next one, I can't find any copyright information, so I need to ask the owner for permission. So an example of that is if we go to JD Sport, and we just put in like fitness clothes, we might choose a picture of somebody wearing gym kit or something like that. Just go with the first one, that'll be the easiest one. Now let's say we wanted to use this particular image. You can't pay for this image because it's a website where you actually buy the item. So on websites like this, we need to go to the main page and we need to have a look at the bottom of the website, and we need to look at legal information and terms and conditions of using the website. So if you have a scan down here and you look at like about the website, our rights on the website, if you look at this one, the copyright and ownership rights, known as intellectual property rights, of this website, including, here we go, it should say graphics and stuff like that, that's included the images, are owned by JD Fashion. So it doesn't say whether you can use this image or not. So on this one, we're not 100% certain, so we can screenshot this but we would have to send an email or ask JD Sports, can we use your image? So for this one, in the assets table, I can't find any copyright information, so I need to ask the owner for permission. Or you might put, I cannot find any option to buy the image, something along those lines. So I'll fill this one in for you. I'll pause the video now, and then we'll move on to the next item. So we've filled in this one now. This is actually a 96 dpi image, and the reason it's that, and I've also need to put in it's a JPEG. And the reason it's that is because it's an internet image, so it's already been downscaled to 96 dpi, so it would need upscaling when we make the poster. And I've put in the copyright information, and I've put Nike's a popular brand, so it will draw in the audience when they're doing the fitness work on our poster. So it's a really good picture to use because the brand is powerful and it would draw in the audience. So the last one we need to do is a one-time or restricted image, and for that we're going to have a look at iStock. It's a bit like Getty Images, similar, but on this one you can pay like £20 for the image, but there's specific restrictions on this image. Now again, the good thing with this is it's got some information here on the pixel dimensions of the DPI, so we can pull all this information in as a screenshot, and you can have a look at the different restrictions on this. So this might be royalty, where every time you use it you've got to pay, or the restrictions are if you want to use it to print, you can only print a restricted number of prints. So you can look at the standard license, the extended license for this one, but this would fit this one here. It's a one-time restricted license, and I can obviously pull in the information for the website and discuss that more. So I'll fill in this one and I'll pause the video now. So this is an example of the one-time restricted license. If you want to find out more about the restrictions, I've screenshotted them there. But this screen here on this particular website, you just click on the standard license and it tells you about the restrictions. So you've got 500,000 plus printed copies, sharing files, so on and so on. So you can read through these and you can see exactly what's within that particular license agreement. So that's give you a good variety of one-time restricted images. We have I can't find the copyright information. We have royalty free. You should all know all about royalty free now. And we also have this one here, which is copyright free, completely free to use. And obviously assets we've made. So just as a quick recap now, you've got copyright free, can be used free with no restrictions. Royalty free, you pay a one-off fee. I can't find a policy for this image, ask the owner for permission. A one-time restricted use can be used only once or with specific restrictions. So, if you want to know more during your assignment on this, if you look on the toolkit, there is a little bit of an example here on the assets table, which just gives you an idea of the kind of things you might want to put in there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We're going to delve more into different elements of the iMedia coursework when next time we dip into the Creative iMedia Toolkit. Thank you for listening.